Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit GearHandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Away we go.
Hey, everybody. Hey. Welcome to Bois.
Welcome to Bois.
King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
He is Rusty.
And I wanted to start this episode off, Mike. I read a review the other day that it's the only one that's ever hurt my feelings.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's literally the only one that ever hurt my feelings.
What was the review?
And it only hurt my feelings for a moment. But it said, I wish the show was just Mike with a rotating co-host. Something along those lines with a rotating co-host.
So stupid.
That hurt my feelings.
This is our show.
They don't like
this
me,
is the show we do together.
Yeah,
it's our show.
That was funny. I thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh. It was the first thing I read this morning.
Oh, that's terrible. Well,
this is.
Thank you for leaving a comment either way.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't care. That was one of the reviews on. I think it was Apple Podcasts. I think it was one of our Apple reviews.
Oh, for our Friday episode, by the way, I've got a new voicemail.
Oh, yeah. So this is also the 114th episode of King of the Hill.
114.
Yeah.
Not for us, though. For us, it's like a million or something, whatever it is.
300.
And you want to tell them about being live, just in case they missed it this time and want to check it next time?
Yeah, so we are live. We're live hopefully in multiple places eventually, but right now, for sure, we're live on YouTube, and we'll always be live on YouTube if we're not live anywhere else when we record. And we also do give you guys a little behind the scenes of our other podcasts, too, that we record. So it gives you an opportunity to hear me and Mike discuss King of the Hill like we already do, and then it also gives you the second opportunity to listen to us do our Swimmer's Ear podcast, which is a King of the Hill podcast.
Yeah, but YouTube looks like the only one right this minute, but that's okay. We'll get there. We are using StreamYard. If you need water in your yard, use StreamYard.
StreamYard.
All right, we are at...
That's what I call a steady piss.
That is a steady piss.
StreamYard.
You know, I was listening to a podcast on the way over here, and if you guys ever want something besides this show, which I can't imagine, but if you do, try the Beef and Dairy Network.
Okay.
Very good stuff. It's supposed to be like a... What is going on with your camera?
I'm not sure.
Look at this. You look like...
Oh, I look potato.
You look pixelated. Anyway, I was listening to this beef and dairy thing, and they were talking about cattle. So it's supposed to be for the beef and dairy industry, right? But
Okay.
it's all made up. It's bullshit, and it's a comedy podcast. But this guy said he drove this woman to Wyoming 17 hours straight, just chugging Mountain Dew, and not the regular Mountain Dew, Code Red and the yellow stuff. and all that.
Yeah.
He goes, I even had a bucket of Baja Blast that you can't get anywhere except Taco Bell. Of course, you can now, but
The bucket of Baja Blast.
he goes, when I got there, I got out, and I had the longest piss. He was just kept pissing. So it's funny how piss came up twice today. All right, so King of the Hill, season 6, episode 10, or in the year of our Lord 5, ABE 21. This is from March 3rd, 2002, The Substitute Spanish Prisoner. All right, let's start this sucker. There is no bell, no yell.
There is no bell, and there is.
It's not the start of a season. It's not the end of a season. Yep.
Oh, wow. And Artie, in the nick of time, got his notes.
Look at that man.
Got his notes.
Artie, you
4 minutes ago.
Artie, you are the most faithful friend. I appreciate that, man.
4 minutes
so
ago.
Good.
That was crazy.
Okay, so we start at Tom Landry Middle School. We're in class. Peggy is substituting and passing out papers. And she says, I have corrected your geometry homework from last night. For anyone who did not get the extra credit question, Peggy Hill was the substitute teacher in the year 1996. What a God almighty, she loves
Rough
herself.
stuff, yeah. She this is a Peggy-centric episode for those of you that are listening.
Mason named our episode, our Friday episode this last week, because he does the editing on these things.
Yeah.
But he named it, and then I went down to the body to check, because I usually put the art in. Went down to the body and goes, Mike just loves to hear the sound of his own voice.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I thought that was appropriate for the comment that guy left.
It's very good. So she's passing out these things. She's telling them the secret question, and then you get, I got number 4 wrong. Explain it, please. I like the fact that Dooley said please. I think he's really making progress.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's not a guy that says please very often.
Nah, that kid didn't say please. All right, so Peggy opens the geometry book, and she explains it to him. She goes, okay, true or false? A circle of a diameter 3 inches has a larger area than the square of side 3. And the answer, of course, is false. And then Dooley's like, why? She goes, well, just look at it. It's got areas and your diameters. And then it's Carl Peters, right?
You can't show your work.
You can't show your work.
Yeah, that's Carl.
And then the whole class, you're hearing just these murmurs, and somebody says she stinks. I mean, it's pretty rough.
That is rough.
It's a pretty rough comeuppance.
That's a
for
real
Peggy,
rough crowd.
quick.
Well, I mean, you can't. The areas and your diameters and.
It's got all of them. She says, of course I can. But if I have to waste all my time explaining number 4 to you, I will not have time to explain number 5.
Whatever that means, yeah. I don't understand that philosophy.
And then the kids, you can just tell. They show all the kids, and none of them have any faith in her at this point. Then we transition over to the Hill Kitchen. It's Hank and Peggy. Hank is looking at an RV catalog, which I don't know that Hank has ever mentioned buying an RV before.
I've never heard him ever mention it. No, it's kind of funny though. The RV thing, yeah, the RV catalog.
So
that's a funny thing. Catalogs.
I think you reach a certain age and you want an RV, because I would like to have an RV.
Oh, you've reached that age? Yeah.
We've talked about it, honestly. Just getting one of those, selling the house, and touring the world. Hank says,
yeah, until you're 6 months in and you're stranded out in the Utah desert with no air conditioner.
You're having to dump your chemical toilet in the desert for the third time that day. Yeah.
You could cook meth in the desert in an RV.
That's true.
That's happened once or twice.
That was a wonderful show. Hank says, if we're going to follow the Cowboys around when we retire, we'll be going to your Green Bays and your Minnesotas. So an RV with heated steering wheel just makes sense. Of course, that means we'll need the luxury cruiser, which is $5,000 more than the deluxe cruiser, and he does say deluxe.
That's funny.
He opens up his checkbook, and it's funny because it's Dallas Cowboy checks, right? So he's a true fan.
Yeah, he's a Dallas Cowboys fan.
It reminds me of me because I have Spurs license plates and Spurs tattoos.
Well, I think it's funny that this show starts after the Great Dynasty of Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
So pretty much the entire
what was the last
13,
one? 95?
6.
96?
Yeah, I think it was 96. And then 97 and 98 was back-to-back Denver Broncos Super Bowls, I think, when 98, 99 were back to back.
It was John Elway, yeah.
But I think it was 98,
He
99.
finally won. Yeah.
Whatever it was 2 that he won back to back because those are 2 of the 3 that Shannon Sharp has.
Those are good teams.
Yeah, really good teams.
I hated the Broncos.
Everybody hated the Broncos.
So it opens up his Dallas.
That's my brother's favorite team.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He picked one out of he threw a dart at a board.
Well, no, he started watching football around the time that they were going to the Super Bowl. Kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it. He opens his Dallas Cowboy checkbook, and there's already a check there that's not signed or anything, but it's made out to RV World.
Oh, wow.
So, like, Hank
he's manifesting.
He's ready to go. He is
Wow.
manifesting.
He's manifesting.
He goes, so,
I will have this RV.
So, how much extra per month do we need to put away? And he's asking Peggy, and she goes, and just as what is that supposed to mean? She is pissed, by the way. She goes, you think I can't do basic math? That's why you've always handled the retirement account? Hank's just like, what is happening? He goes,
yeah, what's going on?
That's crazy. You know, I just enjoy going to the bank.
Talk.
I love that. I just enjoy going to the bank.
I just love the bank.
She says, well, from now on, I'm going to go. Get these papers go here. She goes,
why would she go? She doesn't make any money.
No. She goes, comprende? And she grabs the checkbook from his hand. And then they kind of look at each other, and she breaks. She goes, oh, Hank, I'm sorry. The truth is something else is upsetting me. He goes, oh, well, okay. You feel better? I mean, did you get it all out already?
Yeah.
He said, no, Hank, my entire life, I've always had all the answers, and today I didn't, and I'm scared. What if I'm really not as smart as I think I am? And she just starts crying into her hands. Hank says, come on, Peggy, you've got an IQ of 170. You've said so lots of times. So she just tells people that. Whoa. We got an echo. She goes, yes, but there could be a margin of error, especially when it's my own estimate. Oh, Hank, what if I'm average? Do you have any idea how dumb average is? And then she just leaves the kitchen upset.
It's an awful thing to say, though.
It is an awful thing to say, but
it's okay to be average.
I do like when she gets to this thing. And
if we didn't have average people, we wouldn't have fast food employees.
I like how she has to deal with Jimmy Wichert a lot. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that's below average.
It is well below average.
That's the funny thing, though, is that Peggy has never taken an IQ test.
No.
And she just puts herself at 170 automatically. Some arbitrary number anyway. I think IQ tests are arbitrary.
Well, she probably watched a show or something and somebody said, you know, a genius is 170. And she goes, oh, well, then I'm 170.
It just depends on, like, that IQ thing depends on how you measure intelligence, which some people measure intelligence by how much bullshit you can remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like how much stuff you can regurgitate.
Very true. Let me see. Okay. All right. So she leaves. She's very upset when she leaves the kitchen. Now we're in Peggy's office with Bobby typing in the computer. Now, I watched this morning, and her office looks so much smaller in this episode.
Well, it looks more like the water closet.
It's way less wide. It's a very, very small area.
Definitely. It looks more like the water closet office than it does like an actual office.
The water heater is literally right behind her desk.
Yeah, it's like boiling behind her, bubbling up.
I don't know. It looked weird.
It does. It just looks exceptionally small.
Bobby says, the only intelligence testing site endorsed by the Intelligence Institute of Texas. Even I sound smart saying that.
That's funny.
She goes, okay, Bobby, this needs to be official. She goes, ready? And he starts a kitchen timer. You know, one of those tick, 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 and goes, bling, or whatever. He goes, and go. And then we kind of get this montage of her typing like crazy. She's taking the test.
Mm-hmm.
Then the timer goes off. It rings. And we see Bobby sitting over there eating some ice cream, because why wouldn't he? She goes, done. And then the screen says scoring test, and you know how it has one of those little progress bars.
Yeah, progress bar.
Click. I mean, it's pretty slow, honestly. And then it flashes, genius, ding, 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 genius.
Yeah. That sounds like a scam.
She goes, oh, yeah. And so now she knows she's a genius.
I've got a couple of facts real quick from Artie.
Yeah.
So the average IQ is between 85 and 114. Genius IQ is around 160. So she extremely overestimates it.
Well,
but also
she probably said if genius is 160, I got to be
170. Yeah. So the Intelligence Institute of Texas is similar to Who's Who. So it's like you submit your name and stats, and then they sell you the book.
Those are always such a scam. Those who's who in education.
You know what?
I
submitted the who's who thing when I was in high school, and I just checked off a bunch of crap.
Yeah, that's it.
And it was funny because it was going around the school that because I'd put basketball, I'd put volleyball, I'd put hockey, I'd put field hockey. We didn't even have a field hockey team. I just put a bunch of stuff on there to be funny.
That's great.
And yeah.
So
it means nothing is the whole point.
No.
Is the Intelligence Institute of Texas is they're selling you a book to help you feel better about yourself.
If you ever get contacted by something that says, "Hey, you're one of the who's who in this regional area or whatever, just pay us $1.99 for the book, and we'll get you in there, and we'll have a dinner and all this." Don't do it, please.
No,
please don't do that. That is
somebody offers you a free meal and all you have to do is listen to their spiel, go for the free meal. I've had a couple of free steak dinners.
There's always strings.
Well, the strings are they want to sell you something most of the time. I've never been to a free dinner that I had to pay for afterward.
So, yeah, that's true. As long as you can still run. So when we were in Orlando, I wanted to take my wife to Universal because she loves the Harry Potter stuff and all that stuff. I was there for a podcast convention thing and took her along, and it was great. But me being a super big cheapskate, by the way, I did it again on this coming trip. Instead of paying the extra $50, I saved $50 and now have to fly out of Dallas Love Field at 6:25 a.m. So yeah,
Dallas Love Field, that's a random field to be flying out of.
I do that to myself all the time. But anyway. What was the story I was telling?
Something about a trip?
Oh, yeah. So we were in Orlando, and I'm a cheapskate, and so I was like, man, I bet we could get free tickets if we, do this thing. And so we went over to this booth, and you can get free tickets to Universal, which we ended up getting. But we had to go talk to a guy about a timeshare for like 4 hours. Now, we got a free meal.
Yeah.
It was a hot dog, but we got a free
free meal.
Got a free meal.
A 4-hour lecture and then Universal for the rest of the day.
Well, it wasn't that. It wasn't a 4-hour lecture. It was just a sales pitch, and we went all over this campus and went to all these little apartments and timeshare things and stuff, and then he brought us back to this place and tried to hard sell us, and I was like, nope, don't want it, just want the tickets. And then he had to bring his boss over. His boss was tough. And then I was like, nope, just need the free tickets. Then they brought this woman over. And I swear they're all like Russian, right? I don't know if it's some sort of
some scam shit.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
I don't know either. That sounds kind of scammy.
This woman's sitting there and she goes, I said, no, I don't think so. I think we just want the tickets. She's like, okay. And it was almost like she said it as a threat. It was weird.
That is kind of weird.
But we got the tickets and hauled our ass out of there and went to see Harry Potter.
Didn't get murdered.
There we go. No, didn't get murdered.
That's good.
Not at all.
That's good.
Not even a little.
Glad to hear it.
All right. So we are back at the Hill House. We're in the kitchen. Hank is opening the mail. Bobby's sitting there. He says, Bobby, you got a people and a teen people. Peggy, you got a letter from the Intelligence Institute, and she just runs over, grabs it from his hand, doesn't say a damn thing, just rips the thing open, starts reading the letter. She says, Dear Genius, based on your high intelligence score, we extend an invitation to join an elite group, the 150 smartest people in Texas. Scam. Copies of the handsome official registry of members featuring your name, Peggy Hill, may be purchased for only $39.99 at $59.99 value. And Bobby's like, oh, can we buy one? She goes, the registry will be presented to me at a ceremonial dinner at Hotel Arlen. No guests, of course, unless they're also certified geniuses. And Hank's like, well, that's okay. I mean, he hadn't even caught on yet.
Yeah, he don't even care.
He's like, well, that's okay. You go ahead and have fun. I'll just stay home and watch the ball game. Unless you want me to take that test. She pats him on the head and goes, oh, Hank, so condescending. Just so condescending to Hank. Now we're in the alley with all four guys. So we got Hank, Bill, Boomhauer, and Dale. Dale says, my Nancy's a genius at having a great can. And he just laughs and laughs, thinks it's the funniest thing ever. Hank doesn't laugh at all and goes, yeah, Peggy's pretty excited about getting her name in this book and the Institute puts out. He goes, Institute?
Just sounds scammy.
He goes, yeah, the Intelligence Institute. They recommend that we buy 20 books, but I'm hoping Peggy will be satisfied with 8. 20 books. They want you to buy 20 at $40 a piece. Shit, that's $800.
That's gonna be a hard no.
Dale says $20, eh? So they administer the test, then they sell the books. Sounds like she is getting ripped off by they. He goes, no, wait a second. He goes, you're getting scammed. I should know. I lost a bundle to that gypsy modeling school. Gypsy modeling school. Hank said,
what is a gypsy modeling school?
No.
That sounds like a scam, too.
I don't know, but I would love to go do an expose. Hank says, oh, Peggy, because he just realizes, oh, shit, Dale's right. And when Dale's right, you got a real problem.
Yeah, you got a big problem. Dale is kind of like a dick when he's right.
Well, he's a canary in a coal mine, right?
Yeah, kind of thing.
If Dale's saying something, boy, it's probably too late to get out of there.
Too late. Yeah, you're stuck.
All right, now we're in the Hill bedroom. Peggy is trying on clothes because she wants to look great for this thing she's going to. And he says, I'm just saying, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. She goes, the books are almost $40 each. That is not a very good deal.
That's crazy. And the books are $40 each, too?
She goes, that's not a very good deal.
That's
like
a terrible
that,
deal.
Like that seals the thing. Oh, it's not a very good deal.
That's a terrible deal. Not only is it a terrible deal, I would have left. It's time to go home.
Sure. Hank says, these pads, 8x10 scratch paper that Dale gave us, the ones with the picture of him holding a tennis racket, well, it turns out those were part of a scam. Maybe you should go talk to him before going to this dinner. She says, honey, it is sweet of you to be worried, but I do not need your help. She looks at herself in the mirror, and she's got this green pantsuit on, and she goes, oh, I wish my lenses were thicker.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
I wish my lenses were thicker.
Well, she wants to
No, I
be
know
a
what
geek.
she means,
Yeah.
but no, you don't want your lenses
you
to be
don't.
thicker.
You
You want
don't.
your eyes to be worse.
I want my eyes to be
I wish my eyes were better.
God, me too.
I want to go backwards
I hate
with
these
eyes.
things.
How long have you been wearing glasses?
I started wearing glasses probably around 12, 13.
Oh, okay, so you've been wearing about as long as I have.
I had a balloon pop in my eye, and it scratched my cornea.
Oh, wow.
And then I went to go see about it, and they're like, oh, you've got astigmatism. So, okay.
Yeah, I've been wearing glasses pretty much since I was probably 7 or 8. 7, 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there.
Did you have to have those strap-on ones, the ones that strap onto your head?
No, but I went through glasses like they were going out of style.
Yeah.
I would have to wear taped up glasses, for half the year, every year for a long time.
Our kids, man, when they were growing up, oh my God.
Because my parents got tired of buying them.
We
So
were buying glasses
my
all
dad
the
was
damn
like
time.
soldering them and stuff
Yeah.
like that back
Yeah.
together. He was like, I'm not going to buy you a pair of glasses every 3 months because you can't take care of them.
I don't blame
There was one time I'd gotten in a 55-gallon drum that was empty, a big old metal barrel that you would use for like burning.
You got
But
in one?
yeah, me and my buddy
Okay.
were rolling each other
Sure.
around the yard in
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
And I got in it, and of course, it's just filled with rust.
Uh-huh.
So I went in head first, and then when I got out, I couldn't see. My glasses were scraped to hell.
Oh, I bet.
From the rust inside the barrel, so I couldn't
would
see.
imagine.
And then one time I'd lost a pair. We had
How
over there.
How many tetanus shots did you have to get?
I didn't get any.
Oh, okay.
We're good. I might still have tetanus. I might still have
Got a little lockjaw going on.
And then one time we had, as teenagers, we were doing a little bit of urban exploring, and what we thought we were exploring was an abandoned building, but it's an industrial building off of where Golson Road and that is right there.
Okay.
They have all that big industrial buildings that used to be there by Ash's, the bar.
Sure. I know exactly what you're talking about because that Ashes is the one that I used to go to all the time when I lived out there by the lake.
Yeah. And those metal buildings that were right there, they were all like a part of like a grain company or mulch.
Oh.
So when we were in the rafters, because we climbed up a ladder, and when we got in there, we're in the rafters, and it's just mulch. So the humidity's crazy, and I couldn't see. So I took my glasses off and set them down.
Yeah.
And we were doing like flips into the mulch and stuff. And then the big bay doors opened, and we were like, oh, hell. So we like scrambled out of there. But I scrambled out, and when we got out, I realized I didn't have my glasses. So I'd left my glasses inside of that deal. And I told my parents that I lost them in a field.
Well, I mean, what's the difference? You lost them either way.
They're gone. They're no longer there.
Yeah,
they're no longer with us.
Our kids would break their damn glasses all the time.
Yeah, it sucks. It just, I don't know. When you're a kid, I don't know, glasses just suck.
It's hard, man.
And I couldn't do contacts either.
That's why they have those little
eyeball.
rubbery ones that strap onto the kids' heads,
Yeah.
All right, now we're at the Hotel Arlen. We're in basically just a little conference room for
Pretty
the
much,
most part.
yeah.
There's a bunch of people sitting there. There's a banner behind the guy on stage, and it says, "Welcome 150 smartest people in Texas." And then the guy starts speaking. By the way, Jeff Goldblum
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. I was going to say that. Yeah, that's Jeff Goldblum's voice.
He goes, "Hello, my name is Dr. Robert Weiss." I've never really figured out how to say his name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Vezoza? Vezoas. I don't know. Whatever. Dr. V.
Oh.
Yeah, see?
Vezosa.
Vezosa. I'm the provost of the Intelligence Institute. It's such a pleasure and an honor and a little intimidating, I must say, to be standing here before you. My gosh. Boy, you can really tell it's Jeff Goldblum when he says stuff like that. My gosh.
Oh, my gosh. I really like Jeff Goldblum. He had a birthday the other day. He's 71.
He's got a new show. I think it's Prime.
I just can't believe he's 71.
But it's basically The Boys, you know, that superhero show?
Yeah.
It's that, but for the gods. So it's like how Olympus deals with this one and Zeus and that and all this stuff.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be pretty
I like
good.
that. Yeah, I'm going to check that
out. He goes, but before we begin the presentation of the books, and he pulls off a sheet off of the table, and there's a big pile of books there, and he goes, ta-da! And everybody's just like, oh, like they're the freaking Holy Grail. I'd like to talk about an exciting way for you to take your brain power and your lives to the max. Now, when they do that, they show the audience, and we see Jimmy Witchard sitting there in a light blue tuxedo.
That's the big giveaway. If you look around and you see Jimmy Witcher in the room you're sitting in, you're not sitting in an institute of intelligence. You're sitting at somebody's ego, a table with a couple of egos. Let go my ego.
He's wearing the exact same tux as Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, that's
basically without the top hat.
Yeah, pretty much. You're right. Yeah, that's pretty much what.
So
it
he
is.
goes. Would you like to take your brain power and your lives to the max? He goes, to the max. You're all familiar with the benefits of PhD degree. Jimmy says, the clock at the bank once said 110 degrees. Like that.
Whoa.
Jimmy freaking Witchard. I love him.
This is actually the first appearance that he's had since
the one where
season
Hank
5, episode 6. No, season 5, episode 6, when Cotton comes marching home. Remember how they were the attendants or whatever, and he was like, "Gotta empty those cans. Empty the cans.
Empty the cans." So he says a PhD degree, and Jimmy thinks he's talking about degrees, and he says the bank once said it was 110 degrees. Which is insane.
It's not really a sign of intelligence. I'm not saying it's a sign of stupidity, but it's not necessarily a sign of intelligence.
Yeah, it's very stupid. Dr. V says, but what if you could get the same prestigious degree at home through a series of super concentrated for geniuses only courses? Okay. Everybody applauds. He goes, now, I know what you're thinking. There's got to be a catch. Well, there is. And everybody's like, wait, what? He says, you've got to be a genius. And everybody just applauds and laughs and all that. And then he gets a standing friggin' ovation from these people.
He does.
Just because he's saying, I'm going to give you a PhD.
I'm going to give you a PhD.
Now, later.
Which, speaking of PhDs, we were discussing earlier the Australian breakdancing. So, come to find out, it's a 38-year-old Australian woman, but she has a doctorate in like cultural studies, and it's something to do with like cultural movement or something like that. But it's breakdancing. Because essentially, she has a PhD in breakdancing, and she wiggled around on the floor like a toddler trying to get his ass wiped. It was it was awful.
But the weird thing about Australia is they breakdance backwards because, you know, the difference in the hemispheres.
I don't know if she was breakdancing backwards or if she had taken dancing backwards in time.
They spin on.
She might have went to the origin of breakdancing. That might have been what breakdancing was before they started lifting themselves up off the ground with their arms.
Now, what you saw was some electric boogaloo.
It was pretty bad. Yeah. I'd rather watch line dancing. She scored 0 points in 3 rounds. Ooh. And the male Australian didn't do much better either.
She just flopped around on the floor?
Pretty much. It was bad. And then the
I want to see that.
Male Australian guy wasn't much better.
I saw the guy from Canada.
He only scored 2 points.
I saw the guy from Canada and I saw the guy from France, but that's all I could stand. I couldn't stand
I watched a little bit of it. It was all right. I watched a little bit of it.
All right, later after the presentation, they're all just kind of milling around in that room. Mm-hmm. Peggy is talking to a couple of folks and she says, I've always wanted a PhD, but $9.99, it just seems like a lot of money. Now, this is the first time, I believe, and maybe the only time, we see the guy who announces all the everything. So, like in King of the Hill, every time there's anything announced, he's like, I would quit my job, woo! woo, and you hear him over the speaker.
Yeah.
He goes, if I had a PhD, I'd stop being a sports announcer and start calling chess games and such. Chess games? And then this older lady.
That's funny.
Well, no, not the older lady, the housekeeper. She goes, I would quit my job as housekeeper at Econo Suites. Jimmy, of course, says, I'm Jimmy. I work at the car race where the cars race. If I was Dr. Jimmy, nobody would call me stupid. Peggy goes, Dr. Jimmy does have a ring to it. He goes, hey, I thought of it first. She goes, well, I know. He goes, give it back to me. Like, she's going to pull it out of her mouth and hand it to him or something.
Yeah.
Woo, boy, is he dumb.
Yeah, he's pretty slow.
Dr. V comes over and says, excuse me, geniuses. I hope you won't mind if I borrow Mrs. Hill. And they walk off to talk. She goes, Dr. V, I must admit, I am a little surprised to see Jimmy Witchard here. I'm quite familiar with the man and his work. I love that phrase. I'm quite familiar with the man and his work. He goes, Peggy, if you dropped a box of toothpicks in front of him, you'd understand why we at the Institute expect great things from Jimmy Witchard.
You know what that's from?
Yeah, it's from Rain Man.
Yeah, that was what Artie's facts were. I remember
definitely.
the scene. It's where there's a bunch of toothpicks on the ground, and the savant Raymond, played by...
His name is Raymond?
Yeah.
His name is Raymond the Rain Man.
Yeah, that's his name. And he was played by...
Dustin Hoffman.
Was it Dustin Hoffman that played
Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. That was the other guy that was in it.
Mm-hmm. They were brothers.
Yeah. And
it's a good movie.
His brother took care of him all them years, too, is what was kind of cool.
Years, but
I hadn't seen him forever. So pretty much trying to say that he's a savant.
That's what he's trying to say, yeah.
But... just because you're a savant doesn't mean you're a genius. Because genius generally means the ability to creative thought or thinking out something creatively. And a lot of savants don't have creative. They can remember everything. They have like this eidetic memory where they remember every single thing, but they can't generally do anything creative with it.
Well, they can't really have a conversation either. That's
a lot of them
one
can't,
of the things. Yeah,
but they could tell you the calendar dates and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah.
He says, but if I dropped a box of toothpicks in front of him, that's why we're thinking great things from Jimmy Witchard. The camera pans over to Jimmy, and you see Jimmy sniffing the sandwiches, doesn't like that, and then he eats a cookie and chokes on it and spits it back out.
Yeah,
yeah. Dr. V says, however, there's nothing compared to what we expect from you, Peggy. And all I wrote down here was Peggy's blind hubris again, because that's what this is. He goes, Peggy, I think you could be my greatest student. She goes, oh, I feel the same way, but I don't have $9.99. He goes, well, let's think about that. Do you have an IRA or a savings account, a car? Do you have a car? She goes, well, my husband and I have been saving for our retirement. He goes, well, Peggy, with a PhD in hand, your earning power is going to skyrocket.
It's kind of like those fake PhDs that they give to celebrities and stuff like that, yeah.
And then he goes, like, just to prove it to her that it's going to be good.
Scam!
Yeah, it's very much a scam. He says, I don't have to tell a genius what a doctor earns. Peggy, are you worth investing in? She goes, who should I make it out to? She gets out the checkbook. As she gets out the checkbook just to write the damn check because he appealed to her hubris, he says, oh, cash is fine. And she
this is an artifact here.
She thumbs through the checkbook, and there's one blank check to RV World. Underneath that, there's another blank check that says Dallas Cowboys ticket office. Yeah.
That was actually Artie's thing. He said that whenever she went to write the check out. But he also said, this is just a tidbit for anybody. Most people don't use checks anymore. So, but if you were ever told to make a check out to cash while you're at a business location, don't do it because that's a scam. Because the business name is what would go on a check. In this case, it would say Intelligence Institute of Texas on the check, not cash.
What always amazes me is the check washing. You ever seen people do check washing?
You talking about like wash the ink off of checks?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it, but I've heard of that.
That's amazing. That's amazing that it
like
ever worked.
Like they could wash it off and then rewrite the check, and then it's crazy that existed for sure.
Well, as Peggy makes out that check, we're going to take our first commercial break, and we will be
right back.
What he said.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
And we have a new podcast for you. What's it called, Caroline?
Bloody Happy Hour.
It's going to be your new favorite guilty pleasure. We're going to talk about some bloody stuff. Serial killers, true crime,
rapists,
why not join us? We'll have a good time.
You literally never know. I don't know what I'm going to say. Bloody Happy Hour. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, and we are back from that beautiful, wonderful, lengthy commercial. We are in Peggy's office again. She is listening to the cassette she bought with $1,000. And it is saying, "Welcome to America's most prestigious box degree program." Box degree. That should be a red flag as well. Let's begin our learning adventure. Please
box degree. Yeah, I just caught that.
Please open workbook number 1, shapes. Circle the word on the right that blah, 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 blah. And so he keeps talking. Time passes. You see her get through all 40 cassettes. And he says, "This concludes workbook number 40 and your PhD coursework. Congratulations on your achievement, doctor." And then Peggy just puts her hands behind her head and she's like, "Oh, what a night." So one friggin' night. One night and you got a PhD.
One night, which generally a PhD is like 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, my wife's going through a PhD program right now, and I can tell you it ain't this.
Yeah.
She pushes play on the cassette tape, and it's dun, 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 dun.
Well, because she's starting from scratch. She's getting a doctoral degree with having no degree. Because it never says anywhere that she went to college and that she has a degree. It never mentions that she has a degree.
Peggy
anywhere.
went to horseshoeing college.
She's a farrier.
It's playing the graduation music. She writes her own damn name on her diploma and hangs it on the wall. That is about as scammy as it gets.
No, it's scam. Scam.
All right, next morning.
It's a damn scam.
We're in the kitchen. And
Isn't that an old scam, though, the Spanish prisoner?
Oh, yeah.
That's an old thing. See,
That's
Artie had mentioned that, but he never mentioned about it because I've never heard of the Spanish prisoner. Now, I've heard of the Nigerian emails. I am a Nigerian prince.
There's several
I need
of those.
all of your money.
There's several of those out there that are like classic scams, and Spanish prisoner is one of them. But I don't remember what the thing is on a Spanish prisoner. Let me look. Because I have read this before. I just couldn't remember.
Or you get an Indian guy named Cody that your electricity is about to get cut off, and he wants you to send him 5 Apple gift cards.
Yeah.
Send me 5 Apple gift cards,
whenever
please.
they start telling you to put stuff on a gift card.
Boy. We're the IRS. You owe us $20,000. We'll take $500. We just need it in Target gift cards.
Okay, so this says the scam in its original form. The confidence trickster tells his victim, the mark, that he is or is in correspondence with a wealthy person of high estate who has been imprisoned in Spain under a false identity. So a lot of different variations of this thing, but that is the classic Spanish prisoner.
Okay.
All right, so next morning we're in the kitchen, the Hill kitchen, and she is pouring some milk for Bobby. She goes, "Say good morning to Dr. Peggy Hill," and Bobby says, "And how about some eggs, doctor?" Hank says, "Bobby, don't make fun of your mother." She says, "Hank, let me bring you up to speed. I have a PhD now."
Don't make fun of your mother. That's fucked up.
"I have a PhD now. The Intelligence Institute sold me everything I needed." He goes, "They sold you a PhD? For how much?" She goes, $9.99. He goes, "What? Where the heck did you get that kind of money?" "From our retirement account." "Oh, man, come on." He says, "That was supposed to be our reward for all these years of responsibility. How could you do this, Peggy?" She goes, "Wait, are you mad because I didn't do this sooner?" "What the fuck? What?" He goes, "No, I'm mad because I didn't put my foot down the moment I knew you were in over your head with a bunch of con artists." She goes, "Oh, I see. Okay, so the only people who think I'm smart enough to earn a doctorate must be con artists. Is that it?" He goes, "I'm not convinced that they think you're all that smart, Peggy. They could have rigged the test so anyone would look like a genius." She goes, "Anyone, Hank?" And then it flashes. We get a hard cut to Peggy's office. Luann sitting there taking the test, and she goes, "Woo, I'm a genius." So that pretty much proves his point. Hank says, "Okay, that's it. I'm going to leave you two geniuses right here while I clean up your mess." And he starts to storm out. Peggy,
yeah, it's good. I like this scene. This is a rare moment where Hank flips his shit over Peggy creating an incident that he has to fix. Because that's the thing is Hank is Peggy's fixer.
Yeah.
Not only fixing the house and stuff like that. He's the main breadwinner. He's the guy who always has to deal with her. Like with the, I don't think we've hit it yet, have we? Have we hit the Pimp episode with Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, we did Pimp.
Yeah, we did do that one.
Yeah.
It's just like with that episode, Hank has to wear a hat with a feather in it because his wife decided to bring somebody home from the library.
It's true.
He had to go and keep the pimp hand strong, pimping propane everywhere. Like she pulls Hank out of his element, and he has to go fix these situations and be in some uncomfortable places.
So
poor Hank.
Yeah, no kidding.
You chose one.
She kind of runs after him with her giant feet and says, "Hank, I do not need you to clean up my messes, and this is not a mess, and I'll clean it up." Wait, what? He goes, "It's over, Peggy. Let me put this in words that even a genius could understand. You're not a genius." And her face just drops, man. He goes, "Look."
It's tough. It's tough having an IQ of 147.
What I mean is,
that's
okay,
me. I have an IQ of 147.
You've got what they call book smarts. Now, if we wanted to write a story about you losing our money, well, hands down, you're the one for the job. But if we want to do something that needs street smarts, like getting our money back from the jerk who stole it, then I'm the guy. She goes, "I can take care of it, Hank. Luckily, I have enough faith in me for the both of us." She goes, "Hank," and then just kind of storms off, right?
Yep.
Next, we're at the here's what we see. We see a picture of the Intelligence Institute of Texas, right?
The business addresses.
And then it lowers because it's a freaking postcard.
Yeah.
And she's looking at the Casa Linda apartments.
Yeah.
So the divorced dad apartments here.
And also, from what I understand about this, while she's looking at the list, all of the names, there's like a long list of names under apartment 205. Yeah. The few that you can see is the Intelligence Institute, Nutribution, the Inventors Organization of Texas.
Look, I've got it all.
Oh, yeah, you do.
All the ones,
you do. You got more than I do, actually. He only has apartment 205, which is where he was.
Before it is 204, and it just says Grund.
Which is Debbie Grund, who died in season 4.
That's true. And then 205, it says, like you said, the International Institute or the Intelligence Institute of Texas, Nutribution, and the Inventors Organization of Texas. Yeah. And those are all in 205. So these are 3 separate scams.
3 separate scams. So I imagine the Nutribution is like one of them, you could lose up to whatever things.
Yeah.
And then I imagine the Inventors Organization thing is similar to the Intelligence Institute. And he steals your inventions.
Yes, because have you ever seen those commercials on TV where it's like a caveman beating on a wheel? It's animated, and it says, "Do you have an invention that you can make tons of money off of? Call us." Well, it's the same damn thing. It's just a scam. They're just going to take your damn invention.
Oh, I remember those commercials. Yeah.
And then on 206, it says Don Vito. So it's that guy that remember the wasn't it the episode that was by Vinny Don Vito or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So
I
think
got
it's a writer.
Yeah, it's a writer, yeah.
So
it is a writer, yeah.
She looks down. She finds it's 205. She comes up. She knocks on 205. He answers, and he looks rough. Like he is not.
Yeah, he's not having
the
best of
grown
best
out
times.
and looks tired and looks like he's been strung out.
I mean, it's tiring.
Oh yeah,
people.
It is.
It takes a lot of energy.
She knocks on the door. He answers in his disheveled look, and she goes, "I came for my money back." He goes, "No. Listen, I said you'd lose up to 30 pounds, up to," and she goes, "You said I was a genius." He goes, "Oh, no. Okay. Didn't you read the fine print on your diploma? It clearly states no refunds, not a refudio. Okay? No refunds.
Nada refuido.
Same thing. Sure.
Refuido.
And then
I think anyway. I don't know. I don't know Spanish any better than you do.
And then he slams the door in her face. So she is obviously pissed off. She now knows she's been conned.
We were supposed to have a Spanish correspondent. I remember
here
we're supposed to have somebody that was supposed to translate all the Spanish words in every episode.
I do remember that. That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I can't remember how far back.
We need that person.
Was.
If anybody out there knows Spanish and you want to be our Spanish correspondent, I would love for you to do that.
And then what you could do also is you could give us audio clips of us how to pronounce.
There
the
you
words.
go. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah. Anybody want to do that? Job's open.
Yeah, a lot of jobs.
He slams the door in her face. Next thing we see is they are meeting at the racetrack. All of these students, quote unquote students, and it's in Jimmy's office, which is a wonderful place to meet. She goes, "Unfortunately, I called you here to give you some bad news. Dr. V is a con artist. The PhDs he sold us aren't even worth the paper we printed them on." Now, the old lady says, "No, what? Impossible. I've already received several graduation gifts, a hat, a toaster, and a hat." So 2 hats.
A lot of hats.
Peggy says, well, turns out those intelligence tests tested nothing but our gullibility. And Jimmy goes, but we took the test. Okay.
All right, Jimmy.
And the crowd,
Calm
entire
down,
crowd
Jimmy.
there is
Give me
like,
the cans.
Yeah, the entire crowd is like, yeah, we took the test. She goes, people, let me see if I can explain it to you another way. Things are not always as they appear to be. This looks like I pulled my thumb off. And she does that thing, where you move your thumb on your hand or whatever. And Jimmy freaks out. He's like, he says, oh, she pulled her thumb off. Call a doctor. And then the old lady steps up and goes, I'm a doctor. Because
everybody's got a doctorate. Yeah.
Love
I'm
that.
a doctor.
Love it.
That's a good joke. Yeah. I'm a doctor.
She goes, no, Viosa or whatever his name is, lied to us to get our money. And the old lady, or the announcer guy goes, oh my God, we were scammed. Old lady says, oh, he took us for saps. And then the lady who cleans at the motel, she goes, what do we do now? Peggy says, well, we get our money back by conning the con man, and here is how it's going to go down. And then it fades into this plan, right? And it's very Ocean's 11 kind of stuff, right? They're showing you. I think it's more like The Sting. You ever seen The Sting with Paul Newman and those guys, Robert Redford, Paul Newman?
That was a little.
You should watch that.
A little dated.
You would like it.
I watch a lot of old
very
movies,
good.
but I haven't seen that one.
Well,
I've been watching a lot of public domain horror movies.
The nice thing about The Sting is it's set like in the 20s or 30s, and so it doesn't feel old, like an old movie. You know what I mean? Because it's a period piece anyway. So it's very good.
Yeah, I'm not trying
to
to steal Joe Bob Briggs' job or nothing, but I had that podcast idea called Hillbilly Horror.
I like it.
Where I just review horror stuff with an exaggerated accent.
I love it.
Yeah. Like, damn, that shit was scary as hell. God damn, I was like, oh, damn. Yeah, something like that, I guess.
No, I do like it. I
think it'd be funny.
Yeah, if anybody wants that, he would probably take rotating co-hosts. All right, so we fade into the plan, right? And Jimmy's watching and just eating a hot dog. Peggy goes, Viosa already knows that Jimmy works at the racetrack. What he does not know is that the mob fixes the drag races, and Jimmy always knows who's going to win. Jimmy goes, wait a second, there ain't no fixed races. She goes, I said it was a con, Jimmy. I'll tell Viosa there is an illegal betting parlor at the Econo Suites where all of Arlen's high rollers bet on the races. It shows the lady cleaning, and she makes up all the rooms and all this stuff. So it's showing these things as she's talking about them. The cell phone rings, and she says, Jimmy calls me from the track. And then you see Jimmy and the announcer in the other room calling her. And she goes, and gives me the winners in advance. I place my bet. Tug, who is the name of the announcer, by the way, announces the results, and win, and we win. We will convince Viosa he has a sure thing by letting him win 2 races. The announcer guy says, we're going to give him more of our money. She goes, just another $1,000 apiece to gain his trust. Then his natural greed will take over, and he will place a huge bet, and we will fix the last race so he loses it all. Who's ready? And so you see like the plan come together. Everybody kind of get convinced. Jimmy says, we're going to con him.
Yeah, it seems
con
even
him
worse.
Good.
This seems like even worse than
it's terrible.
Like, being conned.
It's terrible.
Like they're conning themselves out of money now.
The crowd of folks all cheer. They think they got him. And that fades into commercial. We're going to go con some sponsors, and we will be right back.
Snack Attack is a podcast about the history of your favorite snacks, candies, and treats. Each 5-minute or less episode features the history of a great snack from around the world. We'll also visit what the status of the snack is today and give you a little knowledge to lord over your friend. Snack Attack is available anywhere you get your podcast or at roguemedianetwork.com. Let's get snacking!
Step into the unexpected with Cultastic, or How to Start a Cult Without Really Trying. A podcast where cult creation unfolds in the most unpredictable way. Join us on a unique journey into the world of theoretical cult formation. Unlike any other podcast, each episode of Cultastic is co-written in part using ChatGPT, and we let it decide our fate, good or bad. What makes Cultastic truly intriguing? We don't know what's coming each week. Together with our AI co-author, we'll discover and build this cult, one episode at a time, exploring various aspects of cult dynamics, leadership, and group psychology. Delve into themes of charisma, influence, and the power of group thinking. It's a blend of expert analysis, theoretical exploration, and the unforeseen twists of AI-generated ideas. Remember, Cultastic is an exercise in imagination and education where we weave a narrative one episode and one tenant at a time. Curious about where this journey will take us? Subscribe to Cultastic or How to Start a Cult without really trying on your favorite podcast platform or at roguemedianetwork.com. Let's build this mission to save the people of Earth, week by unpredictable week.
All right, we're back, and we are at Casa Linda.
So sorry.
No, you're fine.
A quick fact about what Peggy's trying to do.
Uh-huh.
So what Peggy's trying to do is there's a con it's an out-of-date con now, obviously, but it was called the Wire Game or Wire Scam. Mm-hmm. So they have a mark who's lured into wagering on off-track betting by promising advanced knowledge of the outcome of a race.
Yeah.
It was one of two cons used in
The Sting.
Yep. And it was used in The Bottle Job, which was in 2010. So the
Wait, The Bottle Job?
The Bottle Job.
Made in 2010?
Yeah.
I've never watched that.
I haven't either.
Okay.
That's one.
I love a good con movie.
One I'm going to check out. So that's that. And then here in a minute, the reference hasn't happened yet, but the nose touching, where he touches his nose as he leaves, that's direct reference to The Sting. That was the signal between the scammers and The Sting, which...
Yep. This has Timothy Hutton, and that's pretty much the only person I know. But anyway, that's The Bottle Job. All right, so we're back at Casa Linda. Peggy knocks on 205. He answers, sees it's her, goes to shut the door. She slams her giant-ass foot in there to keep the door open. He goes, "Wow, you got a big foot there." She goes, "Please, I need that money." He goes, all right, here. Help yourself to a bottle of herbal bust enhancer. It's a can, even though he says bottle. And we'll call it even. She goes, "Oh, I shouldn't even tell you this, but you have got the opportunity of a lifetime. You lend me the money, I will cut you in." And then we're at the Econo suites getting ready for the con. So obviously he falls for it, right? Or we think he does. He falls for this thing. Now we're at the Econo Suites, and they've got a room, and they're making it look like it's a betting parlor, right? And they've got
the guys set up pretty good.
Oh,
yeah,
they really do. And this is very much like The Sting. And Peggy says, "Time to bait the hook. $1,000 a piece, please." And she looks at these folks, and nobody wants to give their money. The old lady said, "Ilsa's already taken us for $8,000. If I lose this, I'll have to be buried at sea."
Which Artie left me a fact for that. Actually, he did the.
Well, Artie was in the Navy, right?
No, he was in.
He was in Navy.
He was in Hawaii.
Okay, same thing.
But he looked it up. So there are companies, NewEnglandBurialAtSea.com. Private companies do this, and it's anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, which is about as much as a damn burial on land costs. But it increases.
Burn my ass, it's cheaper.
It is, yeah. It increases the cost depending on the length of the journey, number of passengers, and stuff like that. But there's New England BurialAtSea.com.
They just dump them off the boat?
They offer a 4 to 6 hour trip on a 65-foot yacht starting at $7,500, and they'll put a shroud as well on the Burial at Sea thing for $750.
Well, that's awful nice of them.
But yeah, so if you want to get buried at sea, go to NewEnglandBurialAtSea.com.
Around here, we'll do it for $50.
Code BOIS, KOTH, for a
save 10% on your burial.
10% discount. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
She goes, "I'll have to be buried at sea."
Don't sue me for that, please.
And Peggy goes, "You have my word. They will put you in the ground." And that goes for all of you. They're going to put you all in the ground.
All in the ground.
So everybody puts money in. Cell phone rings. The cleaner lady is downstairs. She goes, "Dr. Vyas just checked into room 27. It's on." And so the next thing we see is the doctor getting his tux on in his room. He gets a knock at the door. He gets a room key slid under his door because this is the big secret place where he's going to make a lot of money, right? And then we go to the room, and it's already going on in there when the doctor gets there. Like, people are milling around, they're drinking, they're eating, they're placing bets. It makes it look real bad. The only thing I couldn't understand about this is, and I guess they put the part in where he didn't recognize Peggy, because why didn't he recognize these people?
I'm not really sure.
They were all in his big intelligence class.
Yeah, they were all. Yeah, not only that, one of the things that kind of stumps me about all this is how and why does Jimmy Witcher know all the rigged who's going to win?
Well,
and
if
people
that's what they're
it,
saying, he doesn't. So they're making it up as they go. And with Jimmy and the announcer in the other room,
I didn't catch that.
They're making the calls.
Yeah, they would have got me. I'm out $8,000.
You lost $8,000.
Bury me at sea.
So it's already going on in there, and the doctor gets in there, and let's see. Tug, you can hear him over the speakers saying, and in the third race, it's Romel Tigre Black Sky. And then the crowd is like, oh, darn, I lost my money or whatever. Cell phone rings. Peggy answers it next to the doctor, and she goes, Jimmy. And then you hear him say, you see Jimmy say, I'm at the racetrack. I know who wins. She goes, Scott Yancey. She goes, all right, got it, Scott Yancey. So they go, she tells the doctor that it's going to be Scott Yancey that's going to win, right? And so they go over to and I didn't know what to call this lady. I guess she is a cashier.
I guess probably. So, yeah.
I put down lady dealer bet taker, but then later I said, oh, cashier. So I think that's better.
The one that speaks?
Yeah, the one that takes the bets.
I think it's Alice.
Oh, is it? I don't know what her name is.
And I think if it is Alice, it's Brittany Murphy, maybe.
Oh, is it?
Maybe.
She goes, she's playing a part here, right? And she's playing it poorly. She goes, welcome to the gambling parlor. Your bet, sir? And he goes, he says, yeah, 2,000 on Scott Yancey at 2-1. She goes, 2,000? It's almost like you have a hot tip. You hear the announcer over the speaker. Again, it's Tug. He goes, and in the fourth race, Scott.
Yeah, that's her. That's Alice.
Oh, okay.
We're talking. Yeah, I had to look it up, make sure.
And in the fourth race, Scott Yancey is off to a fast, and Yancey wins. And so now they're over there collecting the money from this because they're going to let him win a few times, and then they're going to take him for a big bet. Right?
Yeah, big bet.
So he's over there collecting his money, and she goes, $4,000. Is it lucky in here, or is it just you? While he's counting his money, he goes, pretty good. But like my ex-wife used to say, anybody can do it once. Which I don't know what that relationship was. Cell phone rings again. We see Jimmy say, JV Air Marty Z. And she goes, oh, Javier Martinez, it is. So he said JV Air Martizi.
Yeah.
He goes, the doctor says, well, why not make this more interesting? I'm going to bet 6,000 at 2-1. So, they're figuring, oh, this is working, right? In the bedroom with Jimmy, it's the announcer, and he goes, and it's Javier Martinez, the wacko from Waco, all the way. I enjoyed that line, wacko from Waco. I mean, that's us.
The wacko from Waco. Yeah, I like that. That's funny.
Wacko from Waco in the
morning. The wacko from Waco is actually David Koresh.
Yeah. Peggy says...
he's not from Waco.
That's true. Peggy goes, enough with this change. I want to clean these Okies out. Okies? They're all from Oklahoma? I didn't understand that part.
Yeah, I didn't get that one either.
Now we're at the Hills house. It's night. Hank is on a green couch somewhere. I can't figure out if this is in the office,
maybe in
the living room.
The den space?
I don't know. It's a green couch. I don't know if I've ever seen this one up against paneling. And he's on the phone, and he goes, no. I don't want to remove Mrs. Hill from the account. I just want to change the PIN. I want to change it to the number of my birthday. He goes, yes, hold on. And then he sees Bobby walk by, and he comes in. He goes, I'm sorry you had to hear that, Bobby. Your mother's a good woman. She's just not a good woman with money. Okay, here's the part I don't understand. It's dark outside. He's doing night banking. That wasn't a thing. You can't do banking at night. You're not calling and changing your PIN.
I didn't notice that. Yeah.
You're also not changing your PIN number over the phone, but whatever.
Well, back then you would.
No, they'd still send it to you in the mail. Yeah.
Oh, they would send you.
They'd send you a sealed thing, and it would have your new PIN number in it.
Oh, you didn't get to pick your PIN number back then?
Not usually. No. And so Bobby says, yeah, I just hope she doesn't lose that second $1,000. Hank's like, what? He goes, I'm sure she won't. It's just running a fake gambling parlor out of the Econo Suites. It's not as easy as it sounds. You got races to stage, odds to rig, a lot of money to keep track of. But if anyone can do it, it's Mom. He goes, oh, God.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was a very dramatic.
It was. Oh, God. We're back at the Econo Lodge, and the cashier shoves a ton of money the doctor's way because he's won again. She goes, it's good. There's plenty more where that came from. And then Peggy goes, R.J. Dobbs. He says, he looks at the sign and he goes, oh, that pays 4-1. Well, how much should I bet? 10,000? Should I bet 15,000? And then you hear the announcer or Tug say, looks like they're ready. And then Peggy says, well, you came with 8,000 and you doubled it. Why not bet all 16,000? Because she's trying to get this last one in.
Yeah, just trying to get it going. Oh, no.
Cashier says, last call for bets, sir. The doctor says, well, I could bet it all and win $64,000. Yeah. On the other hand, I could just take my money and walk out of here. He starts shoving his cash into the briefcase. So this is screwing up the whole plan.
Yeah, that's ruining it.
Peggy goes, but you're going to win, I promise. He goes, yeah, I don't know. Somehow it just seems greedy. It just seems greedy. Goodbye, Peggy. Thank you so much. Thanks for all this money. And he's just laughing. He's tapping on the.
Got him.
By the way, it's one of those silver metal briefcases. And he's just laughing as he backs out of the door. The whole crowd looks stunned. The announcer goes, and R.J. Dobbs loses. Both of them come out of the room, and that's Jimmy and Tug. And they're just like, huh? And she says, he didn't place the bet. The announcer goes, what are we going to do, Peggy? He took all our money. Hank busts in at the last minute. He said, Peggy, Bobby told me everything. She goes, oh, Hank. And she's like crying. She goes, I don't know how he did it, but Viosa saw right through our scam. All the money is gone. I should have listened to you, but I didn't. While you were talking, I was humming a song inside my head, just waiting for you to stop. I've ruined the rest of our lives, and Viosa's up in room 27 laughing at us. You know, at the end of this, when you look back, you see how she planted all the seeds for Hank. Right?
The line next for Hank is a pretty tough line. That's a hard line. He's like, no, he's laughing at you. He doesn't know I'm coming.
He's laughing at you. He doesn't know I'm coming.
That's and then he don't know I'm coming.
He rushes out to get
and hell's coming with me. You hear me?
Yeah. He rushes out to get room 27, and he just bang, bang, bang on the door. Open up, Viosa. This is Hank Hill. I want my wife's money back. I'm not messing around here. Now, you open this door right now. Banging on the door. You hear me? I'm not fooling. I'm not fooling. Boy, there's no other way to
ain't fooling.
Yeah, that's how you put fear in somebody.
Hey, diddle, I'm not fooling you. There you go.
He lets him in, and the doctor's like, oh, by the way, while he's yelling and banging on the door, the doctor goes and puts all this money into the hotel safe, right, in his room.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, boop, boop. Pups in the code, puts it all in there, locks it up, throws some clothes over it so it looks like there's nothing there, right? He lets Hank in, and he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Hank is just like turning the room over. He's looking for the money. He goes, oh, is this your first time in a hotel room? Well, go ahead, take the Bible. He thinks he's so friggin' smart. Hank goes, oh, it's got to be here somewhere. And he's just opening the cabinets. He's looking everywhere. He finally opens the closet. You see the doctor's face. He's very afraid because he thinks he's going to see it. And Hank goes, nothing. The doctor's very relieved. He goes, you don't want to do this the easy way? Fine. I'll just call the cops. And the doctor says, and tell them what? Your wife is running a fraudulent betting parlor? That's right, Mr. Hill. Ain't nothing you can do. Look, you married a fool. Now, unless you're interested in losing up to 30 pounds, and he pokes Hank in the belly, which, damn, Hank should have just slugged him at that point.
I'm surprised he didn't.
So Hank leaves. The doctor goes immediately over to the closet, and he looks where the safe was, and there's nothing there. Nothing where the safe was.
Not a thing.
And he's like, oh, no. And he goes downstairs. He's ringing the bell, and he goes, my room safe is gone. The guy at the front, he's like, sir, this is the Econo Suites. We don't have room safes. He's like, what? And then we see it flashes over to Boomhauer.
Yep.
He's in the room next door. And he's drilling from one closet to the other. He's putting the panel back on.
And he's a cop.
He takes the safe out of there. Well, there's really nothing illegal about what they did.
There was nothing illegal about it.
You know?
Destruction of property, fake gambling.
No.
The fake gambling did.
Boomhauer didn't. He just moved the safe from one room to another.
Yeah, he knew what was going on, though. Oh, Boomhauer's a cop. That's why they were safe.
He takes it out, and he's unscrewing the back of it and stuff, and Peggy's standing there, and she's like, thanks, Boomhauer. I knew I could count on you not to talk. He goes, yo, man. And that is literally his only line in this whole thing.
Yo, man.
The doctor runs back to the betting room. Everything is gone.
He got super scammed is what's crazy about this. This does really show a little bit of intelligence from Peggy Hill.
Well, and my favorite part is they left the 150 smartest people in Texas book on the bed all by itself.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great touch.
He picks it up, and he's just like, shit. Because he knows. They
got him.
They got him. So now we transition over to Al's Diner that serves Texas steaks. Never seen this place before. But all of the people are there, and there's a big moving truck outside. So you're assuming that they just packed everything up in this moving truck real quick, moved it over there, moved it back. And you hear, oh, yeah, give me them bad boys. And all of them are at the dinner. Hank is sitting there. I mean, this is Hank, Peggy, all of the people that were part of this con, Bobby, everybody's sitting there for some reason. And Hank says, well, I got to hand it to you. You made me look like a jackass, but you got everybody's money back. And Bobby says, Mom, I know a magician's not supposed to reveal his, and she just interrupts.
Here's how I did it.
Here's how I did it. She goes, I knew Viosa was too smart for a straight-up con, but that overconfidence would prove to be his fatal flaw. Well, yours too, Peggy. I ran an obvious bad con to distract him from my secret brilliant con, but there was one thing I was missing. A billowing dupe whose incessant need to rescue his helpless wife would drive Viosa to stash all his money in his room safe. Luckily, I had you, Hank. Thanks to you, Bobby. And Bobby winks at her. And Hank says, okay, so I doubted you. Like you thought I would. What if I didn't? What if I believed in you? Then where would we be, huh? She goes, well, I covered that base too. Viosa valet parked his car, so the Econo Suites doesn't have valet parking.
She got him twice with the car and then with the safe. That's funny.
Hank laughs at it. He goes, you were going to steal his car? That would have been a felony. But the other stuff, that's genius. And she goes, yep. There's one thing that Viosa never counted on. Dr. Peggy Hill.
And fuck Peggy Hill.
And that's it. Yeah. There's a bunch of credits. And then after the credits, you hear, oh, she pulled her thumb off. Call the doctor. Call the doctor. Jimmy Witchard, everybody. Probably my favorite character in the entire show. I like him, and I like Dooley. Those are fantastic.
Yeah, I like those guys, too.
That's a good one, though. It's almost like a bottle. Good. It's almost like a bottle episode because it really doesn't have anything to do with any plot or anything like that. But it was good, though. I really did enjoy it. I didn't remember it, honestly, when I watched it, but I watched it this morning when I was doing all my notes and stuff. Bless you.
Thank you.
And I thought, well,
that's a good one.
I remember this quick. One, the episode went quick. The notes went fairly quick. I mean, I did all this in about an hour. And so
it's a straight mainline episode, but it's a good. I like the plot. It's a funny plot.
It's very
and
good.
Then it has Jeff Goldblum playing a villain, which I like. Jeff Goldblum playing a villain. He's really good at it.
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Really good at it.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
You continue to show up, and we thank you so much. We hear from you guys. We get feedback. We get phone calls. Cool. By the way, if you want to call us, I'm going to have to look this up as I'm speaking, but if you want to call us, you can call us at 254-271-4007. That's 254-271-4007. We've got at least one voicemail that I'm going to play on the Friday episode, but you guys feel free to contact us there. You can also head over to Patreon. We have a $3 a month tier. That's the only tier we have, but that $3 a month, you wouldn't believe how much it helps us do this, put on this show, and show up every week. Also, remember that these Monday episodes are on Spotify. They are also on YouTube, and we will continue to put those out. We're about to kind of overhaul the way our YouTube looks and put a lot more stuff on there. We've also started doing these things live on YouTube. Probably next week will be Instagram and a couple other places.
Yeah, we're gonna try to stream to every available platform eventually.
It's like you're in the studio with us, so
in the studio.
Feel free to come hang out. We would love to have your company.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
What else you got?
bwaaaakoth@gmail.com. Leave us an email.
Wait, is that it?
That's it. You covered everything else. You covered the bases.
I took a drink.
We're doing streaming.
Well, I took a drink thinking you were going to talk for a while, but you didn't.
Check us out as we stream. You can find us while we're streaming. It's me and Mike just streaming away. We're on YouTube. Other platforms coming soon. Shout out to our viewer today. Only one person commented today, but Cameron Balgio.
We've had people We've had people coming in and out.
Yeah,
the whole
coming
time.
in and out for sure.
We
appreciate everybody.
At one point, we had as many as 6.
Ooh.
So that was
I
good.
didn't see that. Yeah, that's
No,
great.
we love having you guys in our house here, and we consider you family. So
yeah, appreciate
come on
y'all so
in,
much.
Watch us record stuff.
Come hang out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it for this week.
That is it for a Monday episode.
We'll see you again on Friday, and all we got to say is
We Matanye.
We Matanye indeed.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.
Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support and a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.